Hey, good morning everyone and welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are enjoying the build on the 84 C20. We're getting really close to paint on that thing. We got a couple things to wrap up today. It'd be a separate video session, but before we started on it, I wanted to give you an update on the 78 F150 behind me. I'm gonna flip the camera around in a minute, walk you around and show you some of the things we're gonna do to it. Nothing like we did on the 84. This should be much faster. We're not gonna strip it down. This truck runs, drives, everything. When we bought it, it does fire up, but it needs a new wiring harness, and want to do some things on the inside, interior, some of the things on the exterior. So I'm gonna flip this camera around. I'm gonna walk around the truck. This is a short video, maybe 2 or 3, 4 minutes, to kind of give you an idea. I think October we can probably start on this. We got to paint. We're shooting to paint the 84 Monday, and then from there we won't touch it for a few days. And then it goes to the house, and we'll start, the day it gets to the house, we'll put the engine in it, and we'll start putting the interior and everything back together. So we're pretty close on that thing. So if we can get it painted on Monday, this Labor Day, this will be a great weekend, and it really helps us advance that along. Otherwise, we have to wait another week. But anyway, let me flip this around. I'm gonna walk the 78 with you, point out some of the things we're gonna do, and hope you enjoy this one as well. It's just not gonna be as crazy as the 84 the work we did on it, but I think this is gonna be pretty cool. And we're going to try to keep it as close to original as we can. So on this thing, the bed's pretty beat up, right? It's all original. The gentleman had this. He used it on his farm. Original owner, day one. Bought it out of Flagstaff, I believe. But it's pretty beat up. And the bed itself, it's got like dirt and hay, and it's rusted out. And so I'm trying to decide, do I just pull these out as best I can and don't worry about it being perfect, because I kind of like the way the truck sits, and kind of the patina on the truck. It's not rusted out too bad. I also thought about maybe pulling the bed off, putting the flatbed on it, and instead of 33s, maybe putting 35s on it is what we're maybe thinking about. But we got some work to do on it, and I'm gonna try to get underneath here for you. I'm not sure if you can see where all the fuel lines are hanging, all the wires are hanging. So got to clean up all of that. And that's a day. It's not too bad, right? It's just remounting. Well, first figuring out where everything's at, and then rerunning everything properly. So that's not too bad. The interior, we are going to completely, we're going to keep the seat frame in the seat. We're going to clean up everything in here. This is the headliner, new dash pad. I'm going to hopefully keep the gauges. I think all the gauges work. All the switches do work. So when I fire the truck up, I do think all the gauges work. We'll put a new radio in it, but everything in here is mostly metal, so it's not too bad. Windshield's not cracked, I don't believe. So I got a little bit to do, but it'll be completely redone in here, and to include paint. We'll only try to go back with the same green color paint. The floor pans are not rusted out, so we don't have to replace those, which is pretty cool. And kind of do it that way. We'll get a seat cover kit from LMC Truck, replace all the seals and everything there. Doors and cab is in fantastic condition. Oh, here's what I wanted to show you. When I say we're going to rewire the truck, we're going to put the vintage AC kit in here. But this is the wiring, and I'm not sure what all these switches go to. There's quite a few of them in here. However, this is the ignition to obviously start your vehicle. But let me show you how you start the vehicle, which is pretty cool. We had to figure it out. It took us a couple hours. This is how you start the truck. Obviously, you have the battery in here, and then you have to fire this bad boy off, and then it'll fire up. Truck does run, doesn't smoke, doesn't knock, doesn't do any of that. But we're going to leave the engine in. We are going to go with an aftermarket AC kit just to free up some space as we rewire everything. But all this will come out, it'll be nice and clean. Probably take the valve covers off, clean those up, make it nice and purty for everyone. Clean all this shit out of here. The front, I was thinking about replacing these, but I'm not. I kind of like, they're kind of beat up a little bit, scratched up a little bit. We're going to clean them up, but I think we're going to leave that front chrome grille piece in place. Obviously, we'll replace anything we can here if that's an option. Bumper looks great. Fenders look great. Doors look great. Cab, hopefully you guys are kind of going off on a tangent here. Cab looks really good. So the only thing that's really off on this thing is the bed. So I guess you got to figure out what the hell I want to do with it. And kind of, man, I am kind of leaning to putting a flatbed on here and leaving the front of this thing, the color of it as it is, and, you know, just clean it up a little bit. But that's kind of where I'm at on it. And like I said, I'm thinking maybe 35s, flatbed, leave this all original engine, transmission, completely new interior. And I think it's a pretty badass truck at that point. Really cool to drive around town in. All this will come off, the winches will come off, and we won't have that on there. But anyway, that's what we're going to do on it. And I hope to get started on it in October. You know, we're not, again, the only thing that we may take off is the bed. Everything else is just pulling the old evap units off and pulling the wiring harness out and putting the wiring harness back in. That's probably, you know, a couple weeks to get it all done properly. You know, if we do it 3 or 4 hours a day on the weekends. So anyway, that is our 78. And that's where we are on her. Man, I love that fucking truck. That is so awesome. Always wanted one, had a chance to get one. And it was just crazy that it was available. Talking to a friend of mine, they were going through some things and they were selling it. And it was just great. They offered it to me. So anyway, that's the 78, guys. A couple of months before we get going on it. And hey, before we rewire it, I'll show you how we fire it up one day. We'll put a battery in it, and it is pretty cool. It took us a little bit to figure it out. But anyway, I hope you like these videos. I hope you want to stay around and watch the 78 build. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button if you haven't done it. Greatly appreciate it. Post your comments if you have anything like this. Shoot me over an email. The email's in the link and all that good stuff. I'll post them and use your name and stuff in the videos and show maybe some of the stuff you guys have. But this one's next, folks. Coming up soon.